Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kim. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I love this day because social media is just changing all the time, and designers are struggling with the do's and don'ts of what to do on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on anything, on their social media. Creatives get really locked up, yet being so creative, you'd think that it would be easy for them, but
Correct.
they get nervous. They have fear. They have, judgment fears and things like that. And is anyone really interested? So I'm so excited for this topic. Like, what should designers be doing, in your opinion? You're the marketing expert, and what shouldn't they be doing?
Right. Well, one thing they've got to learn is that they got to be versatile. It's not a set and done one thing type thing, but some
Mhm.
things that they can really do as far as looking at the trends is things are pretty much they're changing for 2024, but a lot of the same basic things that we already know for 2023 is like Instagram is still a great platform for designers to be on. They
Yes.
may want to shift, they want to do the feed, but they may want to shift to stories and reels because those are very important and those are the most relevant content types right now on that platform. And so shifting to where the people are, what's relevant is what's going to help them do that. There's also live streaming on Instagram that they might want to look at. That I don't see very many designers doing it all, but could provide some opportunity. And
Mhm.
then more designers are getting where they're having shops and products that they're selling, and taking advantage of the Instagram shop would be some trends to think about for 2024.
Wait,
Something that
explain that to me. Taking advantage of the Instagram shop. What
so
is that?
they could if they are selling products, they could take advantage that Instagram actually has a shop, where that you can click
Gotcha.
to on a product. If they've got a lookbook, they can click on it and to shop and to really take the time that I don't know if many designers themselves would want to spend the resources, learn how to technically do that, but hire
Mhm.
somebody to set that up for you. So that
Mhm.
way, if you have that shop, you might as well pay for like make it pay for itself, take advantage of it. And
Right.
so those are becoming more like as we continue to going, it's going to make it easier for the consumer to purchase from you and to get to know you. And we that is what social media is social, so we want to build that connection, but ultimately our goal is to sell, and
Yeah.
that's where it's going to be. And
Okay.
then some of the other platforms that we want to think about is Pinterest. Pinterest is a visual search engine. And so, especially if you are a designer that has shop products, it's a great way to do that. Or if you're a designer that does virtual or you want to become known more as an influencer and you want to really set the trends and stuff, Pinterest is a no brainer for you. Or if you're doing a lot of blogging, Pinterest is a great way to do that. Now, if you are in a smaller community and you have a smaller resource of clients, Pinterest could be good for yourself to kind of like have people see what you're doing. But as far as getting clients from Pinterest, might not be worth the energy and
If
effort
you're only a local
if
business.
you're only a local interior designer. So,
Gotcha.
kind of taking again what your marketing goals are. One thing that I see consistently missed in almost every audit that I'm doing is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a valuable platform for designers to connect with professionals, collaborators, and potential clients. Like
Yes.
it is just, it's a great place to showcase. So I think I'm not for sure. I did our plans for our next few marketings, and I'm wondering if I thought I was going to put LinkedIn in there just like so we could start talking about just about how important LinkedIn is, what we could really do as designers for that.
Yeah, that's a great topic. And I do think LinkedIn is a great place for designers. And I think the holdup has always been they're not sure how to use LinkedIn. Like, it's supposed to be very professional. So can I put the posts that I'm putting on Facebook or Instagram on LinkedIn too? Like, maybe I shouldn't, because it would be looked at poorly. But in the end, you got to put something up there. So you might as well be putting
Correct.
something.
If you have professional images or good images that you're sharing on the other platforms and showcasing your work, of course, you want to just make sure that the post is relevant to the platform on any platform that you're using. So if you had, well, you could even maybe do like a fireplace with your Christmas tree, like getting ready for the weekend. How are you relaxing? If you've built up a LinkedIn platform, I'm seeing that used more on
Yes.
LinkedIn where you can have a
Yes.
question because there's still people. There's still humans that are on LinkedIn. It's not foreigners. I mean, they're
I
this
know,
they're
and I really feel like sometimes people look at LinkedIn like it's untouchable, because they don't
yeah,
understand it. LinkedIn was always, this is how you get a job. You go on LinkedIn, you put in your
right.
thing, you connect with people, but it's not just for traditional corporate
Nope. And
jobs.
it's really changed in the last few years to be more collaborative, more leading expertise. Yeah, it's just the whole LinkedIn has really just changed. And so if designers are afraid to use LinkedIn, I would recommend just talking to someone about how to use LinkedIn and spend,
So talking to you.
sure, talking to
Yeah.
me. Talking
Yeah.
to me. Yep. Find
Yeah.
some resources on how to use it, because once you get over that fear, you can use it. And your audience is different on LinkedIn than the other platforms. So you can
Yes.
use the same kind of content. And then thinking about something we don't talk a lot about is, and I have not in our agency, we don't use a lot of, but um, nano influencers, or using an influencer. If you have an influencer in your community, maybe partnering up with them. At one time, it was like huge influencers was like the biggest thing, but
Yes.
now they're not finding that is going to be like as big of a trend. It's going to be more the smaller influencers. So if you can do that, or
What is
partnering with
considered a small influencer? Like
well,
on Instagram, a micro influencer, I've got 8,000 or so. That's not even a micro influencer. That's below that even. Like, are there?
I would consider, but you have to look at what your role is in your niche. So you could be a micro influencer in the, well, you are. I would consider you a micro influencer in the design field, because you have industry knowledge, you have a following, and what you say and your voice matters and people listen.
Okay. So
Okay.
if they want to like get more known in their local community, find the local influencers and see if you can create a relationship with them, that you're starting to exchange posts or something that's getting you more
Correct.
exposure.
Correct. Yes, that's how you. Yes, that's what you'll do.
Which I have to tell you, just go to some restaurant sites that are really popular, or really like who also have your ideal client as their
Right.
primary patron, and start frequenting there and posting there and getting like it's
Yep, and tagging them and sharing them in stories, or even boutiques, whether it's a home boutique where they have home products, home decor stuff, or if it's a clothing boutique that's kind of mid to upper scale. Like those are where your clients are, and those would be also where the influencers are. Because you think about a lot of clothing boutique, like locally, we have a lot of like boutiques, and that's where the
yeah.
influencers are, like all the clothing and stuff. And seeing
Yes.
if there's not some cross promotion, some ways that you could work together. Like I could easily see if there was a local influencer that was showcasing a boutique. Well, what if you had a home design that you just finished that was beautifully decorated for Christmas? So maybe you could combine and they could do a photo shoot there or something, and you're cross promoting, you're working together, and you're building your brand.
I saw a designer the other day who's local to me, who I know, do a collaboration with a real estate agent. So they're giving
Yes.
away a room makeover. So the real estate agent has a really nice following, and so does the local designer, and they are cross promoting a joint venture. And
Right.
it was brilliant and so smart. So there's so much designers can do to
Well, and we
enhance their
tend to
local.
think we work in a silo a lot of times, but if anyone asks me where I get a lot of my business, it's referrals and collaborations is
Yeah,
where we get a lot of them. And sure, our social presence matters, but and those are some of the bigger things is collaborations and referrals from people that you collaborate, but they won't collaborate with you if they don't know you.
correct.
And so yes.
Correct.
So
Okay.
those are kind of the things with the platforms. Now, a lot of the biggest questions I always get is I don't know what to post, or I don't know what to showcase. And so some of the things that are really popular and important for designers are your before and after transformations. Those are huge when you can demonstrate the work, especially if you can conclude any storytelling with it. So if you could
Mm,
start with a product and say, I have a family that's a professional family and they were frustrated because their kitchen just wasn't working for them. This is how we solved it, and this is what we did, and do some before and afters, and then showcase some of the unique ways that you help them make their
yes.
kitchen work for them.
Yes, and I don't like before and afters on websites, but I love them on social media.
Correct. Well, and there's so many different ways that you can do that now. You can do like a time lapse video. There's lots of creativity things. One of the things that I see is that when you put out a product or picture on, so we'll say Instagram, you want it to catch the eye. So it's not like you necessarily have to, I mean, professional photography is always nice, good photography is also good. So don't put in images that are really pixelated. For designers, it works well to have some Canva templates, but not big gaudy stuff. So think about, would you stop and read the caption with the image that you're posting instead of just posting, like I can post pictures of my grandkids all day long because I'm super proud of them. But does that mean someone's going to stop and look if I have a message to say? Because it's not their grandkids.
Right.
And so thinking about like we have these, but using the advantage, like make the most of the posts that we're posting.
What stops the scroll?
Right. And then doing 3D video tours or virtual tours like that, those are kind of good. And then when you do the storytelling, include, the mood boards, color palettes, behind the scene glimpses like that. Client transformationals or testimonials and interviews are always good. A lot of we let somebody else sell you. I always read the testimony. If someone posts a testimonial, I'm going to read it. Let them sell you. Keep it short, simple, and concise, and then thanking them for that testimonial. Live streaming Q&As is another option.
I love that. Ask me anything and then live stream. I should be doing that for a couple of times, which I haven't done in a while, right? Ask me anything and I'll come live on Friday and answer them type of thing. So designers can do that really well. Your design dilemmas. Let me answer your design dilemmas.
Correct. Yeah. So those are some things for the visual aspect of what we should create. Now let's talk about the don't, because sometimes we learn most because we realize we're doing something that isn't optimized. So one thing we don't want to do is overemphasize on educational content and share too much DIY.
Okay.
Because we can do some, but we want to see about who are we attracting and how are we doing it. So if you are someone that does partner with people that do the DIY, or if you're full service designing, all you want to do is full service, well, then you want to be careful. You can share design trends, those kind of things, but you don't necessarily want to show how to install a kitchen cabinet thing. So
right. You don't want to you could do this yourself video if you're looking to attract the full service design. So
think about the audience.
What you're trying to attract, not what you're trying to repel.
Correct. One thing that I see consistently is not showcasing your services or your processes. People want to know what it's like to work with you. So if you have a 15-minute call or a 30-minute call, if you meet through Zoom, phone call, or in person, let them know your process and how you're working, and that you could easily showcase one of your beautiful designs and then say, do you want to know how to work with us? This is how we do it. And then list that out and do that once or twice a month for sure, showcasing how you work uniquely that is different maybe than somebody else, so that it takes away that fear, especially if someone hasn't worked with a designer before.
Yes.
And make it super easy for them to work with. So some designers share other designers' work to the point that they don't show any of their own work. So you
really, I've never seen that. At least I've never identified it as such.
Yes. So I've seen it a couple times happening more frequently. So it's okay to showcase other people's work, especially if they have the same type of style of work that you do design. But just be careful because you don't want to confuse your audience. You want to make sure that they're seeing your work.
Right. So I guess you could do, I'm giving a shout out to this other designer who I'm so impressed with the design work they just did. As a designer myself, I appreciate the detail.
Making it really clear that it's, so that way it's not confusing. So
okay.
Lack of engagement. Remember, social media is interactive and it is so easy. I've done it myself, post and ghost and forget. And it's there, it's done. If you want just a presence, that may be okay. But if you want to use social media to grow your business and gain clients and make sales, you really have to engage with the audience.
Yeah, we really grow much faster when we're engaging on a regular basis. When we lack engagement because I'm busy or whatever, we don't grow. We actually lose because no one's feeling us,
Yep. And the last couple things are failing to develop a comprehensive content plan. So knowing what you're posting and having an overall arching goal so it makes sense and things are cohesive. So you know what it's like when you walk in your kitchen and you got the mail, and right now I've got Christmas gifts and I got breakfast and you got all that stuff. it's craziness and people feel that. So if we can create a nice cohesive content plan, and once you
Mhm.
make that plan, you can repeat and recycle it.
And you
But
can analyze which worked well and what didn't, and then
right.
enhance and change, you know.
Yes. Yep. And then that goes along with that inconsistent branding and messaging, making sure that you're using the same brand colors, the same fonts, the same logos, the same cover, the profile images, all of that across all your platforms, and even the same your business in words that you use in your bios. Because I was surprised when I did some recent audits. There was like 6 different messages on the
Oh,
different
for my
platforms.
Profit Inside Academy, my Profit
Yes.
Insider Academy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a couple of them. And it's like, okay, this one makes, like, when I went through it, because I, of course, was looking at all the platforms, this is the one I like, and this is the one I think reflects best of you. This is what you should be using on all your platforms, because what they had on Facebook and Instagram didn't match, but what they had on LinkedIn was beautiful. And so creating that, but making sure, and then having somebody else take a look at it, have another colleague, have, your coach, have somebody else take a look at it and say, does my brand reflect what I'm trying to say in the about section and in the bio? That would just be a good practice to get
That's a
into.
good exercise. Yeah.
Yep. And then not leveraging your content in multiple ways. So when you do a video, could you put it on YouTube, or could you put it on Instagram and LinkedIn and multi-purpose that? One of the things I do hear from designers, especially when they're getting started, is they don't have a lot of project images.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Canva's got some really cool templates that could showcase services that you could plug in those images, and that has a whole different look, or you can zoom and just get one little angle. So there's lots of ways to use it, creativity. And if you're stuck and you can't do that, it might be worth hiring someone to consult with for a half hour and say, I've got 10 images. How can I make this last for the next 6 months? And
Yes.
develop a plan to do those images until you can get more project photos.
Yes. It just takes a little bit of thinking, patience, and then ingenuity, and you can do it even if you have very few images, or just your own house, or just pictures you've taken in showrooms, or flat lays, or vignettes. Like, there's so many ways, that renderings, there's so many ways for them to develop a social media visual plan
Right.
even before they have images of their own.
Correct. We have one client that we've worked with for a couple of years, and she has hardly 0 project photos, just because she's never really taken it. But we still can post for her because we know what she's going for. We know who her ideal client is, and we're able to find even stock photo that kind of represents what she's going for, and then blend that into her messaging nicely. And so
Yes.
it is possible. It's just sometimes it's hard because you're designers, you know what you know, but marketing just kind of becomes
Well, it's hard to market for yourself sometimes until you
very
get
hard.
used to it, right? In the beginning, I used to have to watch myself to get desensitized to the things I was so critical of. I had
Right.
to look at my posts and read them and go, oh, is anyone going to be interested in this? Is this a stupid post? But then watch and go, all right, it's doing okay. I'm okay. Like, it's more anxiety and fear than it is anything else for most people when it comes to
Correct.
posting out into the public the love that you have for something, and feeling like people think it's stupid, or
Right.
you're being too pushy, or being too promo-y, or too. How about you just yourself and keep posting, because you're the only one in charge of growing your business and getting new business. So no one else is going to do it for you until you pull the
Correct.
trigger, right?
Correct. Do it, and then think about, like, it's not about you, it's about them. They want to see your images. They want to get to know you as a person. It's about building that relationship, and social media provides a beautiful way for people to really get to know you in a safe way. You don't have to be necessarily fake. You can just be you, and the things that you post is real, and that's what people want. And if they don't like it, they're not really going to be your ideal client anyway, probably.
Yeah, I think it's just is a generational thing too, depending on how old you
Yes.
are. It's just like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? But I have to constantly remind people, if you didn't run a business, you don't have to be on social media if you don't want to, right? Social
Right.
media is for friends and family and social. But if you run a business, why wouldn't you be on it in order to create your own sales traffic that no one
Correct.
else can do for you if it's social media? Meaning, you still have to be part of it. Like I have,
Right.
right? You guys did my social media, and I still had to have meetings with you, provide you with some guidance. What were my goals? I have to work with you until you get my voice. And then you get it. And it's like, oh, now I can step back and do a little less, but I still have to look once in a while and do some
Right.
socializing.
You still have to have your fingers and your pulse on it because it's ultimately you. And the more you show up on social, the more social works for you. If you're only going to show up once a week, you can't say it's not a fair shot to say it doesn't work. That's kind of like if I eat a salad for dinner and I'm mad because I didn't lose 10 pounds.
Well, I do that on a regular basis. So yeah,
I
I want to
know.
lose weight the way I used to in my 20s. But
Yeah.
and I think that's another good point, that social media is not growing. Individual accounts are not growing as fast as when social media first was rolled out.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
People grew to 10,000, 20,000 in the beginning because everyone was so excited. Now it's a little slower grind. People are more discretionary on what they want to see in their feed and who they follow. So it is a slower grind, but at the same time, it's your business. And the
Right.
larger your social media gets, the more opportunities you might have for collaborations, for people to track you down and hire you for different things.
Correct. Correct. And now, especially right now during the holidays, like I'm getting people that's like, oh my goodness, we're not getting any, like, people are busy. Like, think about our own lives. It's hard to even, like, you're numbed down a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but if you start out slow, there's less people that are seeing your stuff. So it's less scary.
Yes.
Like if,
Yes.
if 10,000 people saw my post that I posted the other day, I would be like freaking out. It's like, oh, on my personal account, I only have 100 followers. So I'm not too worried about it right now.
Right, but someone said to me, it might have been you, when I make a post and it's seen by, I don't know, 100 people, and I have 8,000 followers, I think, oh, gee, only 100 people. Maybe you said it to me, like, but if you were standing in a room and 100 people were paying attention to what you said, wouldn't that be amazing? So
Yes.
don't disregard like 15 people or 100 people seeing your stuff. Because if you walked in a room and those people were paying attention just to your information, that would be pretty amazing. And that's the way you have to look at social media. Not always
Right.
as not all 8,000 saw, oh, I'm disappointed. Like, no, but 100 or 15,
Right.
good.
Yeah. Very good. Very
So
good.
anyway.
So those were some do's and don'ts as we
All right.
prepare to walk into 2024 with our social media marketing.
Well, I can't wait to see what 2024 has in store for social media because it's changing so fast. But I think if you are watching, coming in live or watching on replay, go back to the beginning to listen to all of Kim's do's and don'ts tips for 2024, and stay tuned because we're going to continue to go live every month and keep you up to date on what's going on in the social media world, right? So Kim, tell them how to find you if they want to be part of your Get It Done Club, and actually describe the Get It Done Club a little bit because it's amazing. My Profit Insider Academy people who are in it are loving it. So
awesome. Well, it's so good to hear. So the Get It Done Club is where we have open office hours 4 times a week where you can meet with us through Zoom. Sometimes there's a few people, sometimes there's 4 or 5 people that show up. We answer questions. The other day we helped design a magazine ad for somebody, and I helped someone design a lookbook. And then yesterday I helped someone actually plan out her content. So everything's different. You just come with your marketing questions. So we're kind of like a social media coach in your back pocket.
yeah.
We're your cheerleader. We're going to help you strategize. And we meet, 4 times a week, different times throughout the week.
And it makes them it hopefully keeps them consistent.
Consistency. And then they also have access to our social scheduler. So then they can schedule
Oh, wow.
to all the platforms. And that is a huge time saver. Yesterday, someone got on and she goes, "You'd be so proud of me. I have the next 2 weeks all scheduled." And she goes, "What a relief to go into the Christmas holiday knowing that it's just her content is scheduled, it's done, and it's out there." And
Amazing.
so that's well worth the investment of $147 a month that you get your social media done, and you have someone that can walk you through and keep you up with the trends. And we
Yes.
talk about, right now the thing is hashtags. Do you use hashtags or don't you use hashtags? And all the different changes that you can't keep up on social media,
Oh
but
my
we have
God.
a team that keeps up for you and that we can train you through that Get It Done Club. So.
Love it. Okay, everyone, go click the link in the description and go check out Kim at Fresh Impact. And if you need to get your social media done, join the Get It Done Club. Get to know yourself, how you want to post, what you want your social media to look like in the Get It Done Club, where you're doing it with a social media coach. And eventually you can hand it over to Kim's team if you want, once they know you really well also, if that's what makes you feel more comfortable. And then you don't have to do it as much anymore, right? That's hopefully the progression for everybody. All right, everyone, go have a great Wednesday. I was like, what day of the week is it? And we will see you next month. Thanks,
All right,
Kim.
thanks, everybody.
Talk to you soon.